It may be 175 years old, but there is nothing outdated about the Brotherhood Winery in Orange County. With its eclectic array of wines, Brotherhood prides itself on serving the ever-changing palates of its customers.
Taste is really what rules. What we try to do is provide a variety of wines to meet a variety of tastes.
Tucked away in the village of Washingtonville, Brotherhood Winery serves hundreds of thousands of tourists each year. Whether it's their dry Riesling, holiday spice wine, or their port, Brotherhood has a wine for everyone. Selling anywhere between 60 and 80,000 cases each year, it's no wonder why folks from all over not just the Hudson Valley, but New York State choose to visit.
Or from the north part of New Jersey, Connecticut, and New York State as well. So over 100,000 people last year.
The winery is considered America's oldest consecutive producer of wine. That's because throughout the 13 years of Prohibition, Brotherhood stayed open to provide communion wine to churches, something they still do till this very day. Founded in 1839, the winery has gone through 6 owners over the course of its tumultuous history. Having survived 2 world wars and depressions, owners were forced to sell their land in order to stay afloat. This is why Brotherhood doesn't have a vineyard on premises and instead sources their grapes from all over New York State, including Long Island and the Finger Lakes. Its location has its benefits depending on your taste.
Being that it is a cooler climate, our colder weather is very conducive to Cabernet Sauvignon, to Chardonnay, to Riesling.
Once fermented, the wine is stored and aged in oak barrels close to 15 feet below ground, after which it's time to enjoy, either at home or in the winery's tasting room.
It's a great summertime wine.
It's a region and state poised to become the new Napa Valley.
Hudson Valley, for example, there are 14 wineries just in our little Schwangunk wine trail alone. Then the Finger Lakes has expanded tremendously. So we have been developing our own viticultural areas.
For Explore New York, I'm Bridget Sayage.
I'm still think they got the wrong guy.
Gary Sinise couldn't be more right as the recipient of this year's Thayer Award. And no, it's not for his acting. In fact, when he speaks about his passion for helping veterans, he's doing anything but.
Decided to start visiting them, and then I started looking for military charities to support and try to raise money for them, and then I started to try to entertain them. And it ramped up all the way into the creation of my own foundation.
On Thursday, the Corps of Cadets at West Point paraded in Sinise's honor. Thousands saying thank you for all he's done to support veterans, including his creation of the Gary Sinise Foundation, dedicated to the betterment of veterans' lives. Sinise follows a long line of distinguished award recipients, 57 to be exact, among them presidents, activists, and visionaries like Dwight D. Eisenhower, Ross Perot, and Madeleine Albright. The Thayer Award is given to a civilian who exemplifies the qualities upon which West Point prides itself: duty, honor, and country.
For decades, Gary Sinise has dedicated himself to doing a little more for our nation's servicemen and women veterans and their families.
One of his many efforts includes founding the Lieutenant Dan Band in 2003, named after his character in Forrest Gump. The band goes around the world performing for servicemen and women, lifting the spirits of those who at times may need it the most.
Each day we strive to serve and honor the needs of our defenders, our first responders, and their families.
Sinise's love of acting is perhaps only surpassed by his passion for helping veterans. A vocal supporter of America's defenders since the days of Vietnam, he's continued to champion the cause and hasn't looked back since. At the United States Military Academy at West Point, Bridget Sayage, Time Warner Cable News. School's out and summer's in full swing. Sounds like a dream to most people. But for parents who have children on the autism spectrum, every second spent out of the classroom is a second their child's development could be regressing. But for children like Ryan Harriman, attending the summer program at the Center for Spectrum Services in Ellenville, that's not a worry.
What they teach our kid, we try to teach at home because what they're doing is working.
Cindy Harriman is Ryan's mom. Since being diagnosed with autism in January of 2014, the 4-year-old's journey has been a challenging one.
Kiss? Give Mom a kiss.
Challenging, but inspiring.
He was never saying mom, he says mom now. He plays with my daughter. Last year he had no interest ever playing in a slide or going down a slide. Now he wants to play and do those kind of things.
The nonprofit center hosts a 6-week summer program paid for by the state aimed at reinforcing what the children have learned during the year. The kids, ages 3 to 8, participate in workshops where they receive one-on-one attention.
In September, even though we'll have a few weeks off in August, it's not the entire summer that the kids are off. So when we start back up again in September, we pick right up where we left off.
And don't let this playground fool you. The learning continues and the fun begins once they go outside to their other classroom.
It is not a break from learning. Every minute is learning. And for the kids out here, outdoor classroom means a place to use your language, a place to learn social skills, a place to improve your motor skills.
A lot of thought went into the design of this playground to make it as easy as possible for children on the autism spectrum to navigate through. For instance, this 2-seated bike, designed to encourage socializing and trust between children. And for Cindy, seeing Ryan's progress over the last year gives her something she never had before: hope.
When he started the school here, I was seeing things changing, and then now I can look at him and be like, he can do this, and he will do this. So they give you hope. It's great.
In Ellenville, Bridget Sayegh, Time Warner Cable News.
Time Warner Cable News' Bridget Sayegh standing by for us at the Mid-State Lumber Yard with the latest. Bridget, I see a very active scene there.
Good evening, Solomon. A massive fire underway at Mid Lumber Yard in Warwick. Flames and smoke swallowing the entire area. Now multiple fire departments responding to the scene. Right now, the cause is being investigated, though fire officials have moved us away from the fire, now calling it a crime scene. 4 buildings completely destroyed, and dozens of emergency responders are here trying to contain the fire. Now, as you can see, plumes of thick black smoke here at Mid-State Lumber Yard. Again, no cause has been determined, though one fire official did say it is now being considered a crime scene investigation. That is the latest in Warwick. Back to you.
Okay, quite the scene there. That's our Bridget Sayegh with the latest for us in Warwick. Bridget, thank you.
Bridget Sayegh is in Monroe with more on tonight's vote and the emotional response. Good evening, Bridget.
Good evening, Kate. Well, it's been a more than almost 2-year saga over the controversial land annexation. And on Tuesday, the town of Monroe board voted in favor of a 164-acre annexation from the town of Monroe into the village of Curious Joel. More than 1,000 people showed up to Tuesday night's highly anticipated annexation vote. With the hall well over capacity, for some, it was a fight to even get in.
What the hell is wrong with you? You're hurting women! You're pushing against my mother!
After brief statements from each member of the 5-person town board, votes were cast.
Aye.
4 in favor, 1 opposed to the annexation of 164 acres from the town of Monroe into the village of Curious Joel. A petition involving the annexation of more than 500 acres of land was tabled at the start of the meeting.
I think it's time that we all stop for a moment and pause and realize that we have a lot of work to do before we can move forward with such an ambitious kind of a program that 507 acres would entail.
And 164, a big difference, you think?
164, when we go back and we look, it's really about half of that.
Members of the community say that an annexation of this magnitude would be a drain on resources. Some say the redrawing of school boundaries poses a threat to children currently enrolled in the Monroe-Woodbury School District.
There is no compromise in this situation. As everybody knows, the 164 annexation is a compromise of the 507. That goes against any annexation laws that we've been studying.
We want to have the whole 507 acre. We will fight for it. We will go to court. And if we don't win, we will incorporate a new village.
Still, members of United Monroe say the fight is far from over.
Oh, way far from over. We are going to court. Game on.
Now, members of United Monroe, as well as the county executive, say they are ready immediately to litigate. Now, there is a 30-day window for any and all lawsuits to be filed. So it's needless to say, this battle is far from over. Kate?
Certainly more to come here. Bridget Syed reporting for us. Thank you, Bridget.